Good afternoon, world of Facebook. You know, as soon as I get the tripod out, Miss Lulu here jumps up and starts being a pain in the bottom. So if you see this fluffy thing just kind of appear, she's in my lap. So, Donna Michelle Hammersley here, a health and wellbeing mindset coach, body mind coach, yoga teacher, perpetual student, perfectly imperfect human being. So I want to ask a question. Have you ever made New Year's resolutions? Do you make New Year's resolutions? And if so, how many have you kept to? And also, just out of curiosity, what sort of things do you make resolutions about? What sort of resolutions have you made? And what ones have you stuck to? And what ones have you not stuck to? And how long did it last before you declared failure? Because I've never really been one for resolutions, I must admit. Yeah, no, I never really used to set resolutions. One thing I did used to say every New Year's Eve was, I hope this year is going to be better than the last. Until a good few years ago, when I realised that hoping and wishing achieves nothing. And so I started saying, I will make this year even better than the last. And notice I say even better, not just better, even better. Because us humans, because of the negativity bias, because of the way our brain is operated, we tend to focus on the shit things. We tend to focus on the things we didn't get done or the not so good things. And we tend to forget the good bits, because in every year there are good bits. Even this year, which has been a fuckery of a year, there have been good bits for everyone, but we tend to kind of forget about those. So by saying, I will make this year even better than the last, I'm kind of saying that the last year has not been that bad, but I'm going to make it even better. And I have. Each year I have made it better. Doesn't mean to say I haven't experienced trauma or challenges or pain or heartbreak or loss or all those kind of things, but I have made each year better than the last. And I continue to become a better version of myself. But the thing is, not many people nowadays make resolutions, probably because in the past they've made them and given up on them, because about 90% of people who make resolutions quit, and they usually quit before they've even reached the end of January. And most people who make resolutions, most of the resolutions are related to health and well-being. The top three being probably like to lose weight, stop smoking, and stop drinking or cut down on drinking. And most people fail, no matter how good their intentions, and it's not a lack of motivation, okay? It's not a lack of motivation. We'll talk about that in a minute. But people think, I just can't get motivated. Bullshit. Motivation isn't a thing, but we'll talk about that in a second. Now, I've come up with 5 main reasons why we may fail with our resolutions. There are many more, but the 5 main reasons, and they all kind of link together. The first one is not having a proper plan. You know, you might have a thing in the back of your mind thinking, I really should give up smoking, or I really should cut down on drinking. And like you're having a whale of a time New Year's Eve and it strikes midnight. That's it. I'm not drinking again. I'm not smoking again. That's it. My last cigarette, until like an hour later. And that's the thing. When you have no proper plan, some people can go cold turkey. Some people can say, right, that's it. Never smoke another cigarette. Never drinking another drink. That's it. But they're kind of quite rare. And that's also another thing, is knowing how you are, knowing who you are, but we'll get onto that later. But we quite often fail because we make this good intention, we want to do this, but we have no plan in place. So we have no support, no backup, no plan of action. As I said, some people can just quit and go cold turkey on cigarettes and things, but not everyone can. The other thing is, us humans spend most of our life trying to move away from pain, things that are painful, and moving towards things that are pleasurable. And the thing is, we make, for example, if you wanted to lose weight and get fit, the idea of getting off your sofa and going out when it's cold and dark, going out to the gym in the winter, that seems painful to you. So you say, I'll go tomorrow. So we kind of like try and avoid what we deem painful because it's more pleasurable to sit on the sofa and eat a box of chocolates and watch whatever's on the telly. So we need to find ways of making the thing that you want more pleasurable and less painful. Because when you just say, right, that's it, I'm not doing X, Y, Z again, that can be quite painful, you know, especially if you've been smoking for years or drinking for years, or you've been struggling with your weight for years. You're not going to be able to like wave a magic wand and it's all sorted. Where you go, Miss Lulu? You're going round and round in circles. So we have no proper planning. And things like, for example, if you wanted to lose weight, going on a diet, for example, denying yourself, that is going to be painful. You know, it's rather than making lifestyle choices, making a lifestyle choice, a lifestyle change can be more pleasurable than saying, right, that's it, I'm going on a diet, I'm not letting myself have any of the things that I like, blah, 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 which is painful. And that's one of the reasons we quit, because we make it too painful. We don't make it pleasurable enough to do the thing that we want to do. Number 2, we focus on the wrong thing. We focus on the wrong thing. Smoking, for example, or losing weight, great example. We focus on the fact, I want to lose weight. Instead of focusing on why do you want to lose weight? Because you might feel more confident, you'll have more energy, you'll have better health, all those kind of things. But instead you focus on the weight loss. And that also makes it a win-lose situation. So we focus on the wrong thing. You don't focus on the why, and you don't focus on how you want to feel. So for example, instead of focusing on losing weight, you could focus on feeling great. And it's a slight difference. Even though it's only a slight difference, it can make a big, big difference. We also, number 3, setting unrealistic goals. Now, I see this so often working in a gym. Every January, you can almost guarantee that all the classes would be packed with new people who hadn't exercised for years. And they would come in and they would do like every class for like about 2 weeks. They'd go hell for leather. And then you'd never see them again because they'd done too much too soon. Because they set unrealistic goals. And whilst you kind of like acknowledge their, what's the word I'm looking for? Enthusiasm, that can burn out. If you go too far too fast, it can burn out, and you can burn out as well. Number 4, people do things that they think they should rather than actually what they want to do. I should give up smoking. I should eat better. I should lose weight. I should get healthier. I should drink less. And whenever you put should in a sentence, that immediately puts pressure on you. And again, that creates a win-lose situation. And what you want to really create is a win-win situation. Hey, Mary, how you doing, my lovely? So for example, if you were to say that I want to give up drinking, and then you go a couple of days and then you have a drink, you've made it a win-lose situation. So you could instead make small changes. You know, it may not be realistic for you to suddenly give up alcohol or suddenly give up chocolate or suddenly give up whatever it is you want to give up. That's unrealistic. And then, of course, when you fall off the wagon, you declare that you've failed and you don't bother trying again. And number 5, one of the reasons we quit is because the distance from here to there seems too far. The distance from where we are now to where we want to be seems way too far. It's like if I was to say to you now, right, you're going to go and walk to wherever the nearest city is, say it's 20 miles away. You're going to think, bloody hell, that's 20 miles. That's way too far. Even if the thing waiting for you in that city was amazing, the thought of walking those 20 miles puts you off. You don't want to do it because it just seems too far. And we focus too much on where we want to go, and we never tend to focus on how far we've come. So I'm going to give you 7 ideas, 7 ways that you can ensure that your resolutions, for want of a better word, that you succeed. The first one is to set an intention rather than a goal. The thing is, with a goal, again, it sets up win-lose kind of scenario. It's like, I want this, and if I don't get this, then I've failed. So setting an intention and focusing on how you want to feel. Again, going back to the weight loss one is a perfect example, because people often focus on the fact they want to lose weight because they think they should, blah, blah, blah. And if you said, for example, I want to lose a stone, and you could do all the right things, change your lifestyle, do more exercise and stuff, and you feel great, you feel fantastic, you've got more confidence, you've got more energy, you can breathe easier, you feel amazing, but you've only lost 7 pounds. You're going to feel like a failure because you haven't lost the stone, and you kind of forget the fact that actually you feel great. No matter if you haven't reached that goal, you still feel good. So setting an intention, how do you want to feel? So if you want to give up drinking, for example, why? Why do you want to give up drinking? What do you want to feel like? Do you want to feel more energized? Do you want to feel more inspired? Do you want to feel more in touch with your creativity or your intuition? Do you want to feel good every morning when you wake up? Do you want to feel proud of yourself? Do you want to feel more energized? Do you want to breathe more easily? Do you want to feel more confident in your skinny jeans? Focusing on how you want to feel, and then focus on who you want to be. What's the version of you that you want to be? Why do you want to do whatever it is you want to do? So going back, using the weight loss, because a lot of people have that as a resolution. Why do you want to lose weight? Look at yourself now. Do you feel confident? Do you feel good in your clothes? Do you feel confident when you walk into a room? So your intention might be to feel confident, to be able to fit into that pair of skinny jeans hiding at the back of the cupboard, or to look good on your wedding day, or to look good in your holiday photos. So focusing on that rather than I want to lose weight it makes your intention more pleasurable. Because if you're just focused on, oh, I'm going to lose weight, that means I'm going to go on a diet, I'm going to do exercise, and I hate exercise, that makes it painful. So you're less likely to even try or going to give up quickly. Whereas if you make the end destination where you want to go, make that really pleasurable. Focus on how it would feel to stand in front of the mirror and go, oh, I'm looking good. Or to wake up every morning with a clear head and to feel amazing, to have clear skin, just feel good in yourself. So set an intention rather than a goal. Number 2 is to plan. Plan. How are you going to achieve whatever it is you want to achieve? Because as I said, some people can just go cold turkey. Some people can stub out the cigarette and say, right, that's it, never again. But most of us can't. So plan how you're going to achieve it. And what habits and characteristics do you need to embody? And this is where we come in, motivation versus discipline. People seem to think that motivation is this magic thing that's just going to like rise up in you and spring you off the sofa and get you out the door. And that's bullshit. If you look in the dictionary, motivation means a reason to do something. Now, we all have reasons to do things, but that doesn't mean we actually do them. Now, I'll tell you a story. The other day, I was sat here at this table and I was thinking, oh, why am I feeling so blur? I really can't seem to get myself going. What's wrong with me? And almost straight away, another voice in my head said, you can't get going because you're not fucking getting going. You're sat here on your fucking ass. That's why. And it's not because I couldn't get myself going. It's that I wasn't. And this is where discipline comes in. Now, people don't like the word discipline. People think of discipline is a dirty word. Maybe they think of whips and chains, and maybe some people quite like that idea of whips and chains. That's up to you. But people think of discipline as like, we rebel against the idea of discipline. But if you think of discipline as just simply doing the fucking thing you said you were going to do, imagining that you have your own personal CEO, boss, manager, whatever on your shoulder, and those times when you start thinking, oh, I really can't be bothered, have that boss say, fucking do it. Because here's the thing, we wait for that magical motivation. We wait for the time where we feel like we want to go to the gym or we feel like we want to do the work. But here's the paradox. You'll only get that feeling when you start doing the thing. So you'll only get that kind of like good, healthy feeling exercise gives you when you're actually starting to exercise. Because let's face it, most people who don't like exercise, they don't sit on the sofa thinking, oh, I can't wait to go, blah, 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 blah. They're thinking, oh, fuck, I really don't want to go. Yet when they're doing the exercise or afterwards, they feel great. But you have to imagine a boulder at the top of a mountain. You need momentum. That boulder will stay there for years until someone gives it a push. Once you give it a push, it starts rolling down the hill. And we need to give ourselves that push. I know I've changed my daily routines recently because I could feel myself getting a bit, oh, I can't be bothered, oh, blah, blah, blah. And it was like, right, the only way I'm going to feel like I can be bothered is to do the thing, to actually do the thing. So I started when I could feel myself going, oh, why can't I get going? It's not because you can't get going, it's because you aren't fucking getting going. So that's the time I get off my ass and I do the thing. The feeling that you're looking for comes once you start. And one trick is, or there's two tricks. One, don't even think about it. So if you've decided you're going to go to the gym, don't even think, don't even ask yourself, do I feel like it? No, just do it. Or you could use the 5-second rule, which is as soon as that thought comes in of, oh, I can't be bothered, or if it's the opposite, if you're trying to cut out chocolate, for example, and you're starting to think about chocolate, you count down from 5 to 0 and you go, you move. So if you're thinking of going to the gym and you can't be bothered, you go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, launch, and you do the fucking thing. Because that's the thing, that's the paradox. You won't get motivation. Motivation is your reason for doing something. You need to actually do it to get the feeling. And that is just as simple as getting your ass off the sofa and doing the thing that you said you were going to do. This is part of number 2, is to set small mini goals. I know I said don't use the word goal, but I was trying to think of a better word. So for example, say you wanted to get healthier, you wanted to implement more exercise into your life. Set a small target is a good word, a small target of doing 10 minutes exercise a day. Because everyone, absolutely everyone can make 10 minutes a day. And here's the thing, if you're tired and you think, oh, I've got to do an hour's exercise, oh, I really can't be bothered today, or I haven't got time today, I'll do it tomorrow. And then the next day, the same thing happens. Whereas if you set a target of 10 minutes, wow, before you know it, it'll be finished. And here's the thing, once you get started, you may decide to carry on and do a bit longer. But even if you don't, even if you only do your 10 minutes, you've achieved your target, so you can tick it off. Whereas if you set a big target of I'm going to run 5 miles, or I'm going to go to every class at the gym for an hour, that is like an unrealistic goal and you're setting yourself up for failure. Say the same as with if you want to lose weight, instead of like trying to go on a diet, make lifestyle changes, small changes to start with, cutting out the foods that you know aren't so good for you, finding replacements for them, and always remembering that small steps equal big results. Small steps equal big results. Number 3, celebrate every win. Every win. Even if you take a step backwards, even if you fall off the wagon and have that bar of chocolate or whatever, make sure to celebrate your wins. And when you don't make it a win-lose situation, you can fall off the wagon in whatever form that may be, but you can get right back up again. Because that's the thing, we say I'm going to do X, Y, Z, we fall at the first hurdle, and then we go, oh, fuck it, I've failed now, I might as well just give up. No, make sure you celebrate all your wins and get right back up the next day. Number 4, know your type, know your behavior. For me personally, I've got a really sweet tooth and I could probably live off chocolate, but that's not good for me because I get diabetes and all sorts. I personally am far better off having a chocolate binge 1 day a week. If I try and just have a little bit every day, it doesn't work. I don't have enough switch when it comes to chocolate. I'll just keep eating and eating and eating. So me personally, I am better off having 1 day a week where I have some chocolate. You may be different because what works for one won't work for all. So just because some diet or something worked for someone else doesn't mean it will work for you. So ask yourself, am I the type to go all or nothing? Could I have just a little glass of wine every night? Or am I better off having like a bottle at the weekend? Know your personality, know your weaknesses and your strengths and play to them. Because us humans, we have to be congruent. And sometimes we set ourselves up for failure. We know in the back of our mind that it's an unrealistic target, unrealistic goal, but it's almost like we want to be able to say, see, I knew I'd failed, blah, 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 blah. So be honest with yourself. Know what's best for you and don't be afraid to change direction. If one thing isn't working, try something else. And know if you're the kind of person that can do all change, as in like cut out all wheat, all gluten, all meat, all this, that, and the other, all dairy, or whether you need to do it slowly. You know, it's okay to do it slowly. If you want to be healthier, it's okay to make small changes weekly. You know, drink more water the first week, get into a set sleep-wake cycle the next week, eat less meat the third week, things like that. What works for you, and don't be afraid to change it. Number 5 is focus on the feeling. Remember what I said about feeling great versus losing weight? Focus on the fact that you feel better, even if you haven't lost weight, even if you're still smoking the odd cigarette, even if you're drinking the odd drink. If you feel better because you've made those small changes, focus on that rather than beating yourself up because you haven't completely given up. Because you only fail when you quit. You only fail when you quit. Number 6, replace unhealthy, bad habits with healthier ones. So say you want to drink more water. Replace one of your cups of coffee with a glass of water. Say you want to try and give up smoking. You could try learning breathing techniques, little mini meditations, so that every time you want a cigarette, you do your breathing meditation instead. Even if that only works a couple of times, remember, celebrate your wins. Don't focus so much on your fails. So if you want to give up smoking, but it works better for you to cut down, then celebrate that. Celebrate those times when you fancy a cigarette, but you go away and do some breathing instead. If you want to get fitter, instead of taking the elevator every time, the lift, take the stairs. Small changes equal big results. And remember that it takes at least 21 days for anything to become a habit. And everything is uncomfortable when we first start it. But the thing is, the things that you do now, whether you drink too much, eat too much chocolate, meat, smoke, whatever it is, that had to become a habit because you didn't come out of the womb with the habit you want to get rid of, did you? So that had to become a habit. So, and everything is uncomfortable until it's not. Simple as that. But usually about 21 days and you've made a new habit. And if you want to, you can cross it off the calendar. Cross each day off the calendar. That also gives you a boost because you know you've done the thing that day. Number 7, and do this daily, is have a vision of who you want to be. Have a vision of your ideal BPFS, your best possible future self. Who is she? He. So instead of focusing on, I want to stop smoking, who do you want to be? You want to be the person who loves going out for long walks, who can breathe easier, who has clear skin, who smiles, who doesn't have smelly breath. Focus on who you want to be. What kind of habits, behaviors, characteristics do you want to embody? Do you want to be more confident? Do you want to be more outgoing? Do you want to talk to more people in your business? All those kind of things. And spend 2 or 3 minutes at least every day visualizing that best possible version of yourself. Another really powerful technique, and I used this recently when I could feel myself slipping into depression. As soon as I felt myself slipping, I started talking to myself as if it was a year from now, and I was talking to myself saying things like, wow, bloody hell, remember this time last year? Remember how much you were struggling? And look at you now. Look how far you've come. I'm so proud of you. Look at all you've achieved in this past year, blah, 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 blah. And imagine that your future self is talking to you and how amazing it is that you've achieved all that you set out to achieve. You've changed your life in wonderful and powerful ways, and you're becoming an even better version of yourself. Because here's the thing, we are here to constantly improve. It's not a one-time thing. Don't just go away for a weekend, that's it, boo, brand new, you. It's not about new year, new you, blah, blah, blah. It's about new year, even better you. Even better you, because we are all a work in progress, and we will all be a work in progress until we take our last breath on this planet. And again, you only fail when you quit. So if you have any other tips or tricks to help people succeed in their resolutions, then let me know. Also, if you would like a little bit of help and assistance in making 2021 the year your dreams come true, maybe you've got a dream, maybe you've got a thing that you always wanted to do, no matter how big or small, something you always wanted to achieve, but you told yourself you were too old, you weren't good enough, or you couldn't do it because of blah 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 blah, but there's something that's been burning away in your soul all this time, then there's a free program coming up which is just the thing for you. Because if you've got a dream in your heart, it was put there for a reason. And this world needs your dream. So have an amazing rest of the day, beautiful soul. And if you want some more information on resolutions, so it's resolutions, not resolutions, then just bung me a message and come and join us because I'm so excited. It's going to be epic. Mwah!